Hi, I'm Jim Lamb, the Executive Director of Lutherans for Life. In my travels recently, I've come across a pretty consistent message. The church needs to do more to influence our culture. I would agree. In fact, I believe the flow of influence has changed. Where for centuries the church has had an influence upon our culture, now it seems that the culture has more and more influence upon the church. And there are three ways I see the church can respond to this cultural pressure. One is to give into it. And certainly we've seen many churches that have done that. Many churches that look just like the culture in which they exist. Churches, for example, that promote abortion or promote homosexuality and same-sex marriage. Another response is for the church to stand firm on its beliefs, to stand firm on the truth of God's Word, but then kind of isolate themselves in that truth and not use it to influence our culture. The third response, I believe, is the biblical one. And the Apostle Paul articulates that pretty well in Philippians chapter 2, verses 15 and 16. Where he says that we as children of God are to shine like lights in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation. And Jesus articulates it pretty well too in Matthew chapter 5, where he tells us we're to be the salt of the earth and we're to be lights of the world. We're to be what God has declared us to be, His children in Jesus Christ, not just as we sit there in our pews, but also as we go out into the world, as we engage this culture, as we live in our various vocations. And He's equipped us with what it takes to have that influence. The gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ. The good news that speaks so powerfully of life and new life. The good news that speaks to life and the struggles that people have in life. The good news that changes lives as nothing else can do. And people whose lives have been changed by the gospel can and will influence our culture. And that's the focus of this year's Sanctity of Human Life materials that Lutherans for Life has produced. Based on that passage from Philippians chapter 2, and under the theme of Good News for Life, we want to help congregations understand that the gospel of Jesus Christ truly is good news, and it truly is for life. It is the most powerful and positive for life message in the universe. And it's a message that's tailor-made for the life issues. It's a message that can truly change people's lives to bring the kind of hope and healing that they need. So I invite you to look at our Life Sunday materials on our website. They're all designed not just to help you observe a Sanctity of Human Life Sunday, but to help equip congregations to be an influence in our society. You'll find bulletin inserts, a children's insert, sample sermons, a children's message, worship services, Bible studies, and so much more. So I invite you to take a look, and I encourage you to use them, because we do live in the midst of a crooked and twisted generation. But we have what it takes to make an influence. The light of the gospel, the good news that's for life. So, as the children sing, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.